Hi, so this is a strength bonus class, and we're actually going to be doing some sliding work. So I have a wood floor, so I'm going to use a blanket, just a folded blanket. You could get a towel. If you have a slippery floor to do this in, find something to use that you can slide on, a towel or a blanket. That will be good. Now, if you have to do this on a carpeted floor, you can. You can still do this on a carpeted floor. I would just grab either some of those really cheap paper plates and use a paper plate for the slippery thing, or a piece of cardboard, like a cereal box that kind of has the shiny side that you can cut open and have it be pretty big and use that as your sliding surface. That would really work well on a carpeted floor. So that's what we'll do. We'll start with a little bit of just movement warm up, and then we'll get into the strength sliding work. So go ahead and come and just start at the top of your mat, and we will start standing. Take a big breath in and reach high. And then exhale. Either bring fists together behind your back or interlace your fingers, draw your elbows together and open your heart. Point your tailbone toward the floor, lower your lower ribs in, and then open through your collarbones here. Soften through your knees and then bow over your legs. You can straighten your legs any amount. This is really early, so keep your knees pretty bent. You can rock from side to side a little bit. And then bend through your knees, come up to a chair. Pause there. And then come all the way up to standing. Bring your clasped hands outside of your left hip, right here. And then drop your left ear to your left shoulder. And just breathe. Draw your left elbow in toward the midline. And then you can dial your chin toward your shoulder, nod a little bit. And then bring your head back to center. Release your arms, reach high. And then exhale, fists just touch behind your back, or interlace your fingers with the unusual thumb on top. Draw your elbows together, open your heart. And then soften your knees, let yourself fold. Just come belly to thighs, open through your shoulders. And you can kind of rock from side to side, kind of straightening one leg a little more and straightening the other. Soft knees, come up to a chair. Just pause there. And then all the way to standing, and bring your fisted hands outside of your right lower back. Draw that right elbow in and drop your right ear toward your right shoulder. And then dial your chin toward your right shoulder, and you can find some little nods there. And then release your head, release your arms, and just bring your hands to your hips. Bring your weight into your left foot and just lift your right knee up and then bring it out to the side. We're just going to do some big hip circles. Lead with your heel and then bring your knee back to center, and then we'll switch directions. So push your heel back and then lead with your knee to come out to the side and to center. And just go back and forth there. And your weight can shift. If you need to hold on something, hold on to something. And last time back. And then push that leg back, out to the side, come to the front. And then take a big step back, find a high lunge, keep that back heel lifted. And then push through your heel and then lift up through your heel. Just kind of get into your ankle and your foot. That a couple of times. And then just find a neutral place. Reach back, interlace your fingers in front of you. Push your palms away this time. Reach your arms high, and then find a bend in that right knee. Soften those lower ribs in, but push your hands back. Engage through that right glute and kind of tuck your tailbone under a little bit. And then release, straighten through that back leg, ground your heel, open up into a warrior two, and then just straighten and bend that front leg. And straighten and bend. And straighten and bend. Straighten here, and then we're just going to hinge at the hip crease over that straight leg a couple of times. And then find your triangle pose. Open wide. And then take that top arm alongside your ear. Get a nice big side stretch. And then just kind of cartwheel your hand down. Step to the top of your mat in a standing forward fold. Lift your gaze and then fold. And then come all the way up to standing. Reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Do that same thing on the other side. So you'll lift your left knee up. And then take it out to the left. And then lead with your heel. And then bring it forward. And then push your heel back. Lead with your knee to bring it out to the side. We're just going to go through those 3 times. And just warming through your hip joint. And the last one, knee out to the side, lead with your heel, knee forward. And then push that heel back, knee out to the side, come forward, and then big step back into that high lunge. And just push through your heel and then lift it up into your ankle. Got some crackles. And then pause in a comfortable place. Interlace your fingers the unusual way. Push your palms away and then reach high. And then soften those lower front ribs in as you reach up. And then bend through that back knee. Lower a little bit. Engage that left glute. Kind of push your palms away as you push your pelvis forward. And then lengthen through that back leg, ground your heel. Open up into your warrior two. Just straighten and bend. And straighten and bend. And then find that triangle. So you're just going to draw that outer hip back. And you don't have to come down very far. We're just warming through that hamstring. And then you can find your triangle. Open your heart. And then your arm alongside your ear. Big side stretch. Cartwheel your hand down. Step back into a downward facing dog. And then bring your knees to the floor and come down onto your forearms with your palms face up. And from here, just find some cat and cow movement in your upper spine. So really flex and round, and then drop your heart and look forward. Palms are facing up, forearms on the floor. You're getting this into your shoulder blades. And then see if you can just find some circles of your shoulder blades here. One direction and then the other. And then sit back into a child's pose. Just bring your hands together in a prayer. And you can bring those prayer hands behind your neck. And push into your elbows. Lengthen through the sides of your shoulders, your armpits. And then release your arms and come onto hands and knees. And get your slider ready. So this first one we're going to do is just kind of sitting comfortably on your side. And you'll bring a forearm to your blanket, okay? And these can be stacked. You can kind of stagger your feet and then have some engagement through your side body on the lower side. We're just going to reach that arm out and then bring it back in. And just ease yourself into this. So your first one, you don't need to go super far. And then as you go further, it'll get a little more challenging. And you'll go at just a slight diagonal, but you're really using these muscles. Let's just do 2 more. And then we'll just turn around, switch. So just shift yourself over to the other side and bring your other forearm on top of your blanket with your palm face up. And then find some engagement through your rib cage on that lower side. So I've got my right arm down. I'm engaging through this right side. And then lengthen and slide back in. And you just choose how far you're going to go. Let's 2 more. And then come on to hands and knees. We're going to kind of do a little bit of a push-up here. So you'll start on your hands and knees and have your knees back a little bit further than you would be for just a regular tabletop. We're going to have one hand under your shoulder and then bring your other hand onto your blanket, okay? And then center that weight over your grounded hand. And when we push it, we'll do a push-up, and you can bend your elbow kind of out to the side. It'll feel more stable in your shoulder. So as you lower and bend your elbow, you'll slide your other arm forward. So I've got my right arm bent, and then I'm sliding that left arm over to the right, and then pushing back up. Okay, and bend, and come down. Just slide. And the more I keep my weight over my shoulder, more work it'll be. Let's just do 1 more. And, you can always add more reps if you want to. All right, switch sides. So I'm going to ground through that left arm and bring my right hand to the blanket. And lean my weight forward over that grounded arm. Bend my elbow out to the side to find a little push-up. Reach my right hand to my left as I slide out. And then come on up. Reach. And just keep breathing. And one last one. And then sit back. You can shake out your wrists if you need to. We're going to do 1 more shoulder movement, and then we'll work on leg stuff. So sit with your back to your slider. Okay, and I'll start with my left hand on my slider. I'm just going to reach my right arm forward. And I'm just sitting comfortably. So it could be just legs out. Okay, cross legs is what I like. So I'm going to bring my hand to my slider and then just lean back and come up. And so I've kind of got a side bend. I'm taking this front arm and reaching it. Just really getting deep into those deep stabilizers of your shoulders. And, in yoga, we do a lot of pushing. and weight bearing on our arms, but not a whole lot of pulling. So this pulling back is really good to balance our work. All right, go ahead and switch sides. Right hand on your slider, or I'm going to switch the cross of my legs. Reach your other arm forward. So I've got my left arm forward, my right arm back, and then reach back. You can find a side bend. And I'm twisting to my right. Keep breathing. Two more. And shake your shoulders out there. Interlace behind your back, open through your chest. Drop your chin. And then release your arms. And we'll start working on legs. And I'm actually going to grab another blanket to pad my knee for this. So we're going to come in a knee down lunge. And we'll start with our legs both at a 90-degree angle. Okay. And I'm going to have this blanket because eventually we'll be kind of rocking on this grounded knee. And that can not be super comfortable in your kneecap. But first, just start with both of your legs at 90 degrees. We're going to just straighten and bend your front leg. And see if you can make your blanket go straight forward or your slider without wobbling. All right. If that went well, you can kind of reset your lunge and lean forward a little bit. And then keep stable through that back leg. And you're just going to straighten and bend your front leg. All right. And now we're going to move both. So as you come, you can lean into your lunge a little more and straighten your leg. And then draw both of your legs together to come back to your 90 degrees. Lengthen and then come back. We're going to do two more here. Awesome. And then switch sides. So now I've got my left foot forward. Start with that 90 degrees and just think about moving your slider straight forward and back. And straight forward and back. And then if you want, you can reset your lunge and lean forward a little bit. Engage through that back glute, and then just keep your back leg as it is. Just bend and straighten that front leg. And then we can move through both. So you can lean forward and then back. Draw everything back together. And use both legs. Just one last one. Good job, hamstrings. Let's just find a standing forward fold. So take your feet about as wide as your mat. Draw your elbows together, lift your lower belly, And let yourself hang. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. And just breathe here with that length through the backs of your legs. And then go ahead and come on up. Do a lunge the other direction. So I'll start with my left leg this time. So I'm going to bring my right knee down to the floor, my left leg on my left foot on my slider, right? And it's perpendicular to my grounded leg. Okay. We're just going to do the same thing. Lengthen and slide in. And lengthen and slide in. Just do one more of those. And then this time you can just move with it and come in if you want. I'm just squeezing my legs toward each other. Let's do 4 more. All right. Go ahead. We'll just switch sides. So I'm going to bring my other knee down and bring my right foot onto my slider. And these first 4, just stay upright with that bottom leg. And think about moving your blanket straight out and back. And then if you want, you can slide and kind of lean more. Four more. I'm getting tired. My blanket's twisting around. Last one. And then come on up. See if you can find a standing forward fold with wider legs this time. So just take your weight, legs wide, and let yourself fold. And now I'm going to fold my blanket up a little, my mat up. So I just got a little more space for sliding. And we'll do some plank work here. So I'm going to have my feet on my blanket and hands on my mat. So if you're on a carpet, you can just have your hands on the floor and feet on your slider, on your cardboard or your blanket. And we're just going to tuck our knees in toward our elbows and slide in and out. Four more. All right. Push back into your plank. And now we're going to slide up into a standing forward fold. So we're going to keep our legs straight. Lift your hips to slide your feet towards your hands, any amount. And if you need to do this with hands on a chair, you can do this with hands on a chair, hands on a block. You're just going to slide in. Two more. And just pause. Shake out your wrists if you need to. Soften your knees. Come up to standing. And now we're going to kind of put that plank work into more motion, I'm just going to move my mat out of the way. We're going to do some sun salutations on the blanket, okay? So inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees enough that you can plant your hands on the ground. Inhale, slide back into your plank. Exhale, you can lower your knees or just rock forward, lower into chaturanga. Draw your shoulder blades together. Find your upward facing dog. Lift your hips high and find your downward facing dog. So you're going to have to feel like you're kind of sliding your feet toward your hands to keep the shape. Look forward. With an exhale, just slide your hands toward your feet. Your feet toward your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. Inhale, slide back into your plank. Exhale, rock forward, lower part way. Draw your shoulder blades together. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, lift your hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. And collect your breath. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, slide your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart. Think you can do two more? Let's do two more. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Collect your breath. Feel like you're squeezing your hands toward each other without moving them anywhere. That strong strength through your outer armpits. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, slide your feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way to standing, reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Last round. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower part way. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. You have to contain through your core to keep your feet from sliding out and away from you. Squeeze your hands toward each other. Root down through your inner hands. Externally rotate your upper arms. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, slide your feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, and just let yourself hang here. You can soften your feet. You could hold on to opposite elbows. Sway from side to side. Start to let your breath slow down. And then bend into your knees. And release your arms. Just slowly roll yourself up to standing. Head comes up last. And let yourself pause in a mountain pose. I'm going to fold my mat back out so I'm not sitting on the hard floor. And we'll just end in a wide-legged forward fold. If you want to do a shavasana or a seated meditation, you can add that on at the end. But let's just find a little bit of stretch. So sit down, let your legs go wide. And then we'll start with a twist first. So just bring your left hand outside your right knee and let yourself twist. And just find your alignment. Think of that space between your pubic bone and your tailbone being parallel with the floor. So your pelvis is upright. Look over your back shoulder for a second. Root down through those right fingertips behind you. And then look over toward your left foot. Stretch through your neck there. And then just look at that right foot. Take your left hand, just kind of slide it down the outer leg and let yourself fold any amount. I like to reach for outer foot and keep that back hand grounded behind me. And then go ahead and come on up and we'll just find a side bend. So left hand inside that left knee, right arm alongside your ear. You can stay here. You could bend into that elbow and reach. And then come on up. Twist the other way. Left hand behind you. Right hand outside that left knee. You can look over your back shoulder. And then look over your front shoulder. And keep breathing. And look at your left foot. Just slide that right hand down the outside of that left leg. Any amount. Try to stay grounded through your right hip. And I like to kind of use the leverage of that back hand behind me still to keep my spine long, shoulders away from my ears. And then we'll cartwheel ourselves up. Right hand inside that right knee, left arm over. Maybe bend into your elbow. And then just cartwheel yourself down into a forward fold. Just come forward. Your knees and toes are pointing straight up at the ceiling. Push your inner groin back. Free your tailbone out from underneath you. And stay here for several breaths. And then if you want to rest laying on your back, feel free to do that. So that was full body strength. We did some shoulders and hips and core. Just sliding around. Thanks for joining me. Have a lovely day. Namaste.